They could have just sold skins. They could have just sold skins, and the game would have been fine.
Yeah, you're right. But then everybody would have just complained that it was everybody would have just complained that it was exactly like Overwatch. That's what would have happened.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing.
No, you're right.
Overwatch, being compared to Overwatch is probably the best thing for an FPS.
You're absolutely right, but they didn't want to do it.
There are so many skins in Star Wars you could sell. I'm looking at like 30 stormtroopers behind me right now.
I like that it's live and I'm like watching this change on the Twitch stream.
Oh, dude, it's great. So professional.
Think how much money those gullible fat neckbeards have who just want more Star Wars. About all that Star Wars money that we can bilk out of those stupid neckbeard fucks because they want to play as Darth Vader. You want to play as Darth Vader, kid? $80.
Yep, and 80 hours of your life.
Yeah,
hey guys,
if you don't want to pay for it, sure, I'll make you work.
Hey guys, you guys want to hear about the First Order Judicial?
No!
The First Order can only operate effectively with the absolute loyalty of all its followers. Should any soldiers be found guilty of treason, it is up to the special branch of Stormtrooper to dispense final justice. And he has a stick. A grabby stick.
And he has a stick!
Alright, so I'm looking at a list of Force Awakens action figures, and who the hell is Constable Zuvia?
Oh, I know this one.
Zuvia? Who?
I know this one.
That TR-8R?
Okay, so the story behind that, right?
Do tell.
Is that Hasbro was just given stills of the movie and not told who was important or who got cut from scenes of the film. That character does not appear in The Force Awakens as it was released. But it was released as a part of the first...
on Jakku? Like, wasn't that what he's supposed to be?
Yeah.
They gave fucking TR-8R a goddamn backstory. I'm upset.
Oh, you're upset about that?
Well, like, there was, Jyn Erso's original thing said Lieutenant Erso on it. Like, she wasn't like, you know, they don't know anything about the movies besides, oh, here are the characters.
Like, I remember when the special edition came out, they made like a big like a line of all of the new characters that George Lucas had inserted into the movie, and they made a figure of this one droid who lifts a piece of wood in like one scene. And they wanted parents to pay $15 for this character that was inserted to pick up a piece of wood.
I have a toy of the robot from Jabba's palace that tortured the Gonk droid. That's how many toys they made of Star Wars.
Oh, okay, so we are now officially playing the worst Star Wars game ever made?
I wouldn't call it the worst. Have you played Star Wars Bounty Hunter?
Yeah. I played Bounty Hunter, I played Masters of Terras Kai, and I stand by my assessment. This is the worst one.
Oh no, Terras Kai is a bad funny game. Super Star Wars is a bad game because people actually think it's good.
It's so bad. Look at how terrible this is. Look at this is an infinite spawn right here. In the first level.
Yeah, infinite spawn. Yeah, I always thought that was kind of unfair at 6 years old too.
It's if I may use the term, it's
guys, I was 6 when I played this.
This is if I may use a bad reference, this is Bantha Poodoo is what this game is.
Yeah, you're that's Bantha Poodoo is allowed.
Yes,
I think this game's Wizard.
Where...
Also, why are hearts not health?
Away from you.
I think they are health, aren't they?
No.
Bad health.
The lightsaber health.
The lightsaber is health.
No, it's just Castlevania.
It's literally hyper intense Castlevania. Yeah.
I just want to say, no wonder Luke wanted to get off this godforsaken planet. Look how many things are trying to kill him right now.
Yeah, I remember this part of the movie where Luke was shooting scorpions in the face for 15 minutes.
Are these the Womp Rats? I always thought these were the Womp Rats.
for the womp rat. Remember?
Oh, you know what? You know what? I was thinking of Castlevania. These are the hearts are health.
That was a nice slide you did.
They keep spawning.
Oh my god, stop!
Just run.
Oh my
Just
god,
run.
stop!
Just
run.
There are people who think that this is the best Star Wars game ever made.
I don't know how. I have to be mad. I forgot how enraging this is.
This is bad.
I was playing this earlier this evening, and it's worse than I remember it to be.
It's pretty amazing how bad
I installed it on my SNES Classic. Don't tell anybody. I don't know why.
Well, you just said it live on a podcast.
I'm assuming that it's because I hate myself personally. Like, it's my personal failing. I think my display driver just died. It's unrelated to everything.
By the way, I forgot to set up my laptop as my second screen tonight, so if somebody has the Twitch page open, just let me know if there's any comments.
I will. Yeah.
Alright, sounds good.
That's why I'm like looking at it and being like, oh, maybe my display driver. I just had a monitor go down, but it's also possible this monitor just died.
This level keeps going. God.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's bad, and I'm gonna have to become very familiar with it. Yeah, very little variety in this first level here. Until you get to a complete
just the first level.
Until you literally get to a gigantic sand anus as a boss.
I want a new Rogue Squadron game. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, could we just have Factor 5 back? That'd be swell.
Nope. They got killed by dragon.
Up here comes the bullshit boss.
Fuck you, Lair.
Oh, that was Factor 5, wasn't it?
It was their last game, yeah.
Yep, they were told, hey, make a 6-axis game that'll be fun. Fucking murdered.
Ugh. I'm actually surprised I haven't died yet.
You know what's an absolute fucking crime?
What, this wasn't the actual Sarlacc pit monster?
No. Looks like a prolapsed anus. No, the Factor 5 people are still real close buds, and they're talking about, there was originally planned to be a Wii, remake of all 3 of the X-Wing games to work with the Wiimote.
No shit.
And the controls just weren't there, and it was in development. And then they got the Wii Motion Plus attachment. They're like, oh fuck, they'll be perfect. And then it got canned for whatever reason. It just didn't happen. Well, they're
so mad.
They're all still in touch. They're all still talking to each other. They're all good buds. And they're like, you know what would be the perfect place to put this? The Switch. The Switch.
I think we have to wait for the Wii Classic, like Star Fox did.
The Joy-Cons are like 40% more accurate than the Wii Motion Plus was.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah. Dude, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Or even, I mean, maybe the 3DS, but like...
Oh, here's the most definitely more bullshit level.
Ah, yes, Mode 7...
Fucking Mode 7.
They put Mode 7 into their games just because they could, because the NES could do it.
Yep.
Hey. Well, let's talk about Final Fantasy 3. That intro made Mode 7 worth it.
Including all the games that did it wrong?
Well, okay.
This is kind of nauseating, actually.
Final Fantasy 6, F-Zero...
What dee dee? What the fuck are these things that they're writing? They just made shit up. I love how this was the era where they would just make shit up.
The Game Boy Color version of this game has goddamn Darth Vader turned into a giant scorpion when you defeat him.
What?
Didn't that happen in the movie?
The game.
I remember that.
I don't believe that at all.
It happened in the movie, you don't remember?
Obi-Wan Kenobi finds you in a cave and gives you a gun.
That happened too.
What? Is it selling me, idea power sandwich? Is that what it's saying?
Yes.
What?
Head towards the Sandcrawler.
What dee? I just need health. Oh, fuck.
Better than me.
This is not bumper cars.
Alright, so Sandcrawler was as far as I got when I was a kid.
Oh, this level is some bullshit.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
I love how they just explode off screen.
Did Michael Bay make this?
Nothing but
Look how violent that is, though.
Halo.
Ugh. And like this is like an intense platforming level too, like more difficult than any single Disney SNES game.
Yeah,
and,
because they were designed on
like,
purpose.
Yeah, and then this is just like this intensity and the most droning music in the Star Wars franchise you could put in it.
Yep. Like the worst version of the score ever. I'm telling you, this game is freaking garbage.
I remember when Luke could do a somersault.
I'm infuriated at the person whose fault it is that this is happening right now.
Whose fault is this game, by the way?
ABC, that famous video game manufacturer that everybody knows as a video game manufacturer.
Oh, that one.
Okay,
I was just blaming my wife for rigging the survey.
Did she rig the survey?
She was like retweeting it to her other Twitch friends. Is like, vote for Super Star Wars. And I was like, yeah, great. Yeah, it's her fault.
Let's be fair. So the first one's not great. The second one is like some insane effects away from being a treasure game.
As in Super Empire? Is that what you're talking about?
Super Empire Strikes Back is basically like a nerfed version of fucking Soldier Beast.
Yes, I can confirm this.
Altered Beast? Rise from your grave.
Of this, so the people whose fault this game is are a company from Salt Lake, Utah.
Let the hate flow through you.
Right,
Did you not just see that bullshit Jawa just there?
Yes.
I'm admittedly also playing Pokemon, so I might not.
I don't blame you for putting yourself through this suffering, so I hope that if somebody's watching this, they are enjoying my suffering.
I'm watching it.
So while you suffer, should we talk about? Should we talk about the thing?
With the Battlefront 2 shit the other half of the story that we missed because it was a day after we broadcasted last week.
You say bullshit. I say glorious day of reckoning.
Yeah, basically.
So where did we leave off?
Jumping on the platform.
The day after our broadcast was the day that
they killed the microtransactions. Is that right?
Exactly. And then there was the Disney statement, and then there was the Belgium stuff, and then you had like the psychoanalyst statements.
Do we want me? Should I just go in chronological order and we can bullshit as we go?
It seems like you have the best chronology of the whole thing.
Oh my god. So the night after we late at night after we did this show, Thursday night, we're talking as late as they could possibly have clocked this. EA and DICE issued a statement, and it was basically a big old apology statement or whatever.
And actually, if I pause this, I could share my Google Doc with you where there's some sources, but there's an EA page where it's actually the general manager of DICE.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. It was basically this big old apology and said, hey, we screwed up, and we're turning off the microtransactions. And so before most people ever got their hands, this is important, that this whole debacle up until this point has only been between reviewers and people who paid the extra $20 for the Elite version of Battlefront 2. The game has not been released wide at this point yet. That's what we're dealing with here. That's how bad it was. People were mad before they had ever gotten their hands on it. So
you blame them?
No, I don't. I'm glad everyone has finally come around to my correct way of thinking on this. But anyway, so 11th hour saving throw. They're like, we're disabling all the microtransactions, and then they went, for now, we're disabling the microtransactions for now. They will come back. That was the qualifier. They will be back. They will still be tied to player progression. So basically, everybody looked at this and was like, well, this is bullshit. And Nobody bought it. Nobody's bought it. And then the game came out. People were still talking about the microtransactions, and EA's investors started asking questions. And EA said in kind of a general statement to their investors that the removal of microtransactions in Star Wars Battlefront II will not impact, is not expected to, I should say, give them the qualifier, is not expected to hurt their income expectations for the quarter, which lends the question, why are they there then? But, you know, whatever, that's a different conversation. So they've told their investors that it's not a problem. They've told the audience that they're taking them out for now. And the game launches, and then as the day was going on, I think it was Game Rant got the report, maybe somebody else, I can't remember, got a report that the guy who serves as basically the liaison for the games division for Disney, because Disney doesn't have an actual games division anymore.
Anymore, right.
Yeah. Yeah, they shit-canned everything last year and shit-canned LucasArts when they bought Disney. Or when they bought Star Wars, I mean. And so...
13.
Yeah, they burned it to the ground. And so that guy who's in charge of it, I space on his name, I can look it up if people need sources.
Apparently...
Butini!
Sorry, go ahead.
Apparently he had a phone call with some top brass at EA about this whole thing. And that phone call apparently happened prior to the removal of microtransactions. So it seems, infer what you want there, and for the one thing that it probably is, that Disney is really mad that this is all happening within a month of the release of The Last Jedi. And then it gets worse. It gets worse.
Think about a video game fucking up so hard that it affects the sales of a movie.
It could happen. It could happen because it gets worse from here.
Do you think that this would actually have done that? Because that movie's projecting to probably make $200 million in its first weekend.
It's still going to make money, but there is still going to be a black eye on it in the cultural landscape because of this.
Especially because everybody was so lukewarm on... This is the most lukewarm people have been on Star Wars since before The Force Awakens came out. Generally, excluding you, Miles. Excluding you.
Yeah.
Because they're scumbags now. Fucking Star Wars Battlefront II is just like that's a bad video game thing. Disney's holding movie theaters hostage.
Yeah.
Like, that's true too. This is the most salty that anybody has been about Star Wars since basically Attack of the Clones.
Well, and it's going to come back and bite them because thanks to the press, people know about the theater thing, and the mainstream press over the same weekend of Battlefront 2's launch started covering it too. The Washington Post and the BBC both ran actual news stories about all of this. And the nice thing about that is that they're not obligated to do coded things or appeal to the gamer audience, whatever the heck that means now. They could just report it as it is. And they're like, this is why people are pissed. Here's what some commentators in the field say. This doesn't look good, you know. And so now we're now talking about the actual mainstream media, the correct usage of that phrase, paying attention. So Disney is super paranoid. You made it. Yeah, you missed. You messed it up.
But in relationship to that, Travis, too, is that, you know, Disney tried to bully the major media companies when they did that shit with the LA Times. So they're already kind of skating on thin ice with...
Yeah, and at this point, Disney's not technically directly involved yet, outside of that phone call to EA that we know about. This is still just on EA. So right now, this is like a gaming industry thing. But between that happening in the press, Battlefront 2's early sales numbers started to come in. It looks like it's worse than the first Battlefront, which people were lukewarm on anyway.
I've heard it has sold 40% of the Battlefront 1, 2...
60% in the UK. That was the numbers.
Yeah. So it's not looking good. And and again, we should probably. I mean, see, it doesn't look good right now, but the NPD numbers for October came out last week too, and everybody bought Shadow of War more than any other game. So
really?
I can't. Oh yeah,
that
because
game came out a few weeks ago too.
Yeah. So that was the numbers for October. I should clarify. So the October numbers. Okay. They came out, and Shadow of War sold more than Assassin's Creed, than Mario. Wolfenstein was number 14 for crying out loud.
Good for Amazon. Then they caught on the boat in a good time.
Yeah. So
more than Mario.
Well, Mario had 3 days to sell. And it was selling on a single console, where Shadow of War was a multi-platform release and had at least 3 weeks. But more importantly, it's really easy for people to be mad about microtransactions. It's really easy for people to be mad about a thing online. It is much more difficult for them to actually not purchase something. So I will be waiting for the actual NPD numbers at the end of the month to see how many people chickened out and bought Star Wars Battlefront II, because that's going to be the real tell as to what happens going forward. But over the weekend, some actual governing bodies in regions got involved, kind of. First, we got news that Belgium was looking into loot boxes. Their gambling commission was going to start looking into loot boxes as gambling. Targeting 2 games by name. Targeting 2. The one's Overwatch, because somebody hasn't forgotten who's responsible for this. And the second was Battlefront 2. Those were the ones they named by name. So now the real scary thing for game companies is happening. Governments are paying attention now. And then, on top of Belgium, Australia started looking into it. Their gambling commission started looking into it. But I think the thing that will probably kill Star Wars Battlefront 2 and probably really screw up EA's future for a while is a state senator, a Democratic state senator from Hawaii, had a public press conference.
Yeah, calling that shit out.
By name. He had an entire podium set up, like it looked like a White House press
conference. I was right
there! Alright, that's this game. And he called it a...
Save states!
Oh, shit! Well, too late now.
Yeah, you did. Oh, well, you got a checkpoint.
No, fucking rewind it!
Wait, can I rewind
3 hits and you're dead!
I don't think he's got it on his classic.
Run!
Remember these turrets on the Sandcrawler in the movie?
Yeah, I don't remember Darth Vader turning into a scorpion monster at the end either.
What movie did you watch? Because I remember seeing that scene.
It was
this is a monstrosity!
0 lives remain.
Oh, God,
are you kidding me? I was right there! I still had 3 lives!
Yep, this game. Anyway, so yeah, a state senator from Hawaii basically called Battlefront 2 out directly. Oh, game over. That's our first one.
Hold on.
Take a shot.
Hold on.
Take a shot.
Can I rewind this emulator?
No.
It's every 15 seconds.
That's amazing.
What a travesty.
We're back. What a disaster. So yeah, he called out Battlefront 2. He called it, explicitly called it Star Wars, a Star Wars themed casino. He called out Battlefront 2. He called it, oh boy.
So,
okay, hold on.
Can I just sound like a crazy old grandpa for a minute?
You always sound like a crazy old grandpa.
Alright, hear me out?
No.
Listening.
Okay.
Remember how quaint horse armor sounds now?
How do I get down there?
Cheat, you use a Game Shark code.
Yeah. But like, really, remember when people were losing their shit because, oh, I gotta pay $5 to get horse armor? This is bullshit!
To be fair, that was also bullshit.
It was bullshit! But think about how far back we've slid now. That's like, oh, horse armor. I remember those days.
There was horse armor, but there was also the Shivering Isles, which was basically its own game.
It was an expansion pack.
Yeah.
But the horse armor was separate, and that shouldn't have been the thing. But, I mean, they got called to the mat on it.
Yeah.
And that was good.
But we let it happen.
I mean, yeah, it would be great if people could, like, not buy shit. That would be awesome.
Remember?
Well, it's like...
Don't buy the horse armor.
Well, look at, like, the CSGO Lotto and stuff.
Oh, God. Oh, God. They gave... Did you know Call of Duty gave T. Martin, like, a big, like, standing thing to advertise World War II? To advertise World War II, that sounds terrible. to advertise it again.
1935, Germany decides we've had enough of this shit. We're going to war again.
I mean, not wrong.
The gang goes to war. Always sunny music starts playing.
Oh, God. So anyway, yeah, EA...
twice there, bro.
Yeah.
And he's like, watch us switch sides.
Oh my god, it's like I'm jumping into the bullets.
Oh, 7. You did. You literally took
Yeah, dude, you should just slap a blast helmet on and try it blind. It'd probably go better.
Yeah,
like, look at this shit. They're shooting at each other. Turrets don't even work this way.
I was going at a decent pace. I had all the upgrades I needed. I could have gotten to the end. I could have done it.
Yeah, these turrets don't even make sense. Like, again, it's just infinite spawning. They're just spawning in places.
There you go.
Oh, holy fuck.
He did it.
The problem is now I'm inside the sandcrawler without sufficient health
Shit level, yeah.
blasters.
So, do you think microtransactions in Star Wars is a way to distract us all from the
yes.
net neutrality with the FCC?
Yes.
No, but we should talk about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, talk about that with your Trump-loving relatives at Thanksgiving tomorrow, everybody. I know you're like, I don't really want to do that, but just tell them they can't share racist memes on Facebook if they've got to pay extra to Comcast. There you go. That's my solution.
This is why we can't have nice things.
It's really what we can't.
Do you guys feel like that the misunderstanding on net neutrality is like the new like women's suffrage in terms of like the people misunderstanding what it's supposed to mean?
I mean, maybe not like women's suffrage, but
you know what I'm saying, like as in like yes, I'm against women's suffrage, and you're like no. Like not
I compare net neutrality with
the you mean like people not understanding what the word means?
Yes,
like the word neutrality?
Well, as in like the term net neutrality actually not having any, you know,
Yeah, that's true. We do need a better... Didn't John Oliver have a better word for this?
He did. And
wasn't it just like bullshittery?
It must be. Also, I love how the bullets in this level just fucking ricochet and make even more chaos.
Yeah, because that's what bullets do.
It's Star Wars bullets.
I mean, I guess technically space magic doesn't have to be explained.
Where did you guys come from? I killed you already.
Dude, the spawn rate is infinite. There's no controlled spawn rate at this. It's not balanced.
Boy, spikes.
Like, I'm not shitting around about this.
Welcome to spikes.
Come on. You're actually doing pretty good at this section.
If only Luke made it to Tashi Station.
Yeah, Jesus, he had just done it.
This is the Tashi Station. Is there a boss at the end of this?
Why
Probably.
do the Jawas have spinning spikes on the floor? Like why?
Like who does that help, right?
Yeah, like what is the point of this room?
Why do I think of Emperor's New Groove? Why do we even have a lever for the crocodile room?
I don't know.
Yeah. Why do we even have that lever, Crunk? Squeak, squeak.
There we go.
Squeak, squeak, squeaker.
Exactly.
Look at these bullets go.
They're bolts. They're lasers. They bounce. Light travels in a wave.
Yeah, something like that. A sick wave.
The hardest core person can serve.
Look at him, Tony Hawk.
Speaking of games that publishers like ruined.
What, Tony Hawk?
Yeah, remember those were fun?
Yeah. Remember Skate? Remember how good Skate was?
Remember how there was a 5th one last year?
See.
And that was his last chance?
Yeah, no, I do. I'll never forget it. It was
I still
terrible.
see old bad Tony Hawk sequels in like cutout bins at GameStop.
Oh yeah,
just full of old, like Tony Hawk remakes.
Never the good ones. Hey, by the way, why don't I have backwards
ones.
compatibility? Like, why don't I have backwards compatibility for like American Wasteland? Because American Wasteland was brilliant.
My favorites will always be Thug and Thug 2.
The Thug ones are awesome. I just appreciate American Wasteland for coming up with a game that's like open world, but not an open world game about being, you know, a warrior or something. Like, that was so ahead of its time.
Well, American Wasteland was kind of like what Skate like turned into.
Yeah, it was
like an open world where you skateboarded and did things.
Yeah. I wasn't ever too into Skate because it was like too realistic. Like I played it for the stupid stuff in the Tony Hawk games, but I respect what Skate was. I kind of wish EA would give a crap. But then on the other hand, it would suck right now, so it's probably better that they don't make another one.
Here's DLC to get this board or whatever.
Yeah, no, it would be loot boxes for gear and board stuff, guaranteed.
Have you seen the Need for Speed? Their loot system, this is basically a slot
machine.
Oh!
I forgot that. They actually, so in addition to turning off the microtransactions of Battlefront, they tweaked Need for Speed's progression system.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's
at the same time.
Oh my god, I mean, that was like a legitimate slot machine. Now, like, I like gambling, like, you know, a lot of people. Like, I go to casinos and gamble, but I don't want to...
Yeah, but you're consciously going to a casino at that point.
Yeah.
You're not paying $60 to go into a casino.
I love walking into a casino and putting $50 on black, but
but
I won't do that in my video games.
Yeah, you didn't have to pay the casino for the whole privilege to put $50 on black, though.
You see, a casino's all about liberating your money. Your money's on the table. You just gotta win it back.
Yeah, in a game, it doesn't do that.
You died from a gunk droid.
You can walk away. Like, once you get something in Overwatch, you're trapped because you have no value outside of Overwatch.
You pay $60 for a game.
Yeah, you got wrecked there.
I want every character. I want to be able to play the game, the full game.
Absolutely. That's what you paid for.
Yeah, especially, you know, I would have been fine going back. Okay, you get Luke and Vader to start with at least. They're the two probably most main characters of the entire Star Wars series at this point, and you can't even play as them. You can play as freaking Bosk, though.
I feel like, I don't know if that would work necessarily, because, I mean, once you have Luke and Darth Vader, I mean, what's honestly the point?
Yeah, but then everything else can kind of just be like, oh, you get this, oh, you get that.
Yeah. Like, I could see them wanting Luke and Vader to be, like, the last rewards, because that feels like an accomplishment compared to, like, getting to the end and you get Bosk. But, I mean, it's not an accomplishment when it's just a grind that you can buy your way out of.
It's Battlefront, though. Shouldn't it be more class-based fighting than necessarily unlocks like Call of Duty?
Well, to be honest with you, I have always dogged on Star Wars games that can't help but put lightsabers in them, even when they don't have any business. Like, I have a soft spot in my heart. You don't. It's Super Star Wars.
No, like Travis, this thing with Luke and Vader. This is the same thing that I brought up last week with goddamn Simpsons Tapped Out that you guys kind of like about.
Yeah.
Like you can, through normal gameplay, by which I mean, you know, tapping one thing and then leaving the game for 24 hours, eventually get memorable characters like that guy in that one scene and that character in that one episode. Yeah. Whereas you have to pay, you know, real human being money, you know, $8 to get Barney.
Yeah, a character that you recognize. Yeah, that's on purpose. It's the mental game.
Yeah.
I think I'd be fine with Battlefront 2 if I started the game, I had Luke and Vader, like Rey and Kylo. Because it's like, okay, those are 4 main characters. Those are 4 people like from the movies that you want to play. They're like, you know, the hero and villain. And then, you know, like Lando, like Bosk, you know, those characters I can unlock later or something. Like, I don't really care. Even Django, Boba or whatever.
They should make the characters like unlock in like. I would be fine if they made other.
Or should just go back to the original Battlefront where there was a character for every map, and it didn't break the, like, you know, you didn't have Darth Vader fighting clones on Camino or whatever.
And I'm gonna be called a heathen for this, but like I was saying, like, I have a soft spot in my heart for the original Battlefront, the very first one, Pandemic.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Because there are no Jedi in it. Right. You are just the troops.
They were in it. They were pieces that just went around the map killing whatever they wanted.
Right. They're not characters you play as. That was important to the theme of the game.
Yeah.
Like that's what set it apart was, oh, you're the grunts now. You're the disposable soldiers that can't shoot worth a damn.
I always say Republic Commando is one of my favorite Star Wars games.
Republic Commando is one of the best Star Wars games because it really drove that point.
It was just too short, and there wasn't.
Yeah, that's because Lucas didn't like it.
Yeah.
Lucas got that one killed. Republic Commando. He didn't like Republic Commando.
I don't know, because I think
he wasn't into the whole gritty war story type thing. He killed there was plans for like a sequel and a whole like book series. He killed the entire thing. He killed it, and he had the power to do that. I mean, in retrospect, though, George probably wouldn't have let what happened to Battlefront 2 happen. For what it's worth. Wow. For what it's worth.
Last life on your last continue, Evan.
Wait, what? I have limited continues?
Yeah, it's Super Star Wars.
Yes. Welcome to the Super Nintendo.
This is what hell is.
Standard for Super Nintendo platformers. You have limited continues.
Oh, my leg's falling asleep.
What the fuck?
Until you play the existentialist nightmare that is Jelly Boy. It's a lot of the same shit, except a lot worse.
I don't understand. How am I supposed to get past the lasers?
Use a Game Genie. I've told you this multiple times.
But I can't just get good. The thing is, I can't get good at this game because it's just entirely random.
Yes. Okay. Welcome to my hell, circa 1996.
If you fail again, you could pick a new Star Wars game.
Well, I have a Super Empire.
There you go. That'll be a change of pace.
Well, you're dead now.
Alright, I'm gonna give it one more go. God,
start at the beginning.
Damn it.
You want me to read the back of more Star Wars figurines?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let me find one.
Gosh.
Oh my god. I'm kind of committed to this because I know I got to play as Han Solo one time. And it was, less than 2 years ago.
Okay, you guys ready?
One time.
Kylo Ren, a dark warrior strong with the Force. Kylo Ren commands First Order missions with a temper as fiery as unconventional lightsaber.
I have that one. It's on my shelf.
Force Kylo Ren commande la mission du... I can't read the rest. That's some other words. Wow, there's a lot of languages on here.
Okay. This is that. Super Star Wars is what hell looks like. If I can be frank.
Once again, Evan, people think this is the best Star Wars game ever made.
Out of their goddamn mind.
They're I'm not gonna kink shame, but they're definitely masochists.
You could be a masochist as long as it results in good game design, but this is not good game design. This is just like let's just make children cry and make them never want to be Luke Skywalker.
Remember when we did that list of like the top 10 NES games we wound up never publishing? This game made the top 10.
I was mad about that. I was vocally mad about that.
How did it get more points then? Let me look that up because it is a very. I want the 3 people who are ever going to watch this to know.
We're up to 5, by the way. One of them's me, but we're up to 5.
Well, one of them's me too, so that's why I put it down to.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, my wife's watching, so she's getting getting off to it, I guess. I don't know.
Did you guys know the Scarif Stormtrooper is a specialist stormtrooper stationed at the top of the secret Imperial military headquarters on Scarif? Yeah. Stormtroopers patrol the beaches and bunkers of planetary facility. It includes 1 figure and 1 accessory.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Alright, so in our list of the games you should play that are not on the SNES Classic, it came in at number 10.
Yeah, I didn't vote for it.
To be fair, I thought that was going to be a more clever list than it actually turned out to be, and then I realized that not many people in our staff have actually played Super Nintendo games.
That's why the SNES Classic is actually like a good thing.
Yeah, it's an edumacation in great retro gaming.
I've been telling people with kids that that's what they want to buy for their kids is a crash course in gaming history that doesn't connect to the internet. Like, raise them right.
And honestly,
God.
And honestly, like the Super Nintendo Classic has more games that are like replayable and you can pick up. I like the NES. There's a lot of great games on the NES, but I'm not going to be clamoring to play the original Super Mario Brothers.
It's not even Super Mario Brothers Deluxe is better anyway. I'm probably going to get flack for that, but
but I mean, I just don't have the interest in playing a lot of NES games apart from maybe River City Ransom.
Yeah, there's even better versions of River City Ransom. They don't
have a whole lot of like replay value. Like you might like try them out for like a minute, but if you're not used to that kind of game style, it's like, come on, motherfucker.
Kind of like those It's kind of like those Atari flashback things you see at Bed Bath & Beyond. Like, I like the concept, the idea is cool, but I don't really want to revisit those games.
Yeah. I mean, I actually like a few of those old Atari and, like, Namco games. Like, I'm pretty bully on them, but...
Namco games is a totally different story. Those have total replayability. I mean, like, you only need to really play Adventure, like, twice. If I want to play, Fall, I'd play another better game. To be honest with you, like those games kind of just don't hold up, whereas Super Nintendo stuff totally does.
Ugh. Mode 7 again, huh?
Up.
I hate this part. Yeah, this part is so insufferable. I know we talked about it before, but it's so insufferable.
This whole I always forget. Every time I'm like, oh yeah, Super Star Wars, and then I realize, oh god.
Yeah, I've never had that reaction to this game. I think as a kid, when someone said, I have Super Star Wars, and I didn't know what it was, I was like, yeah, Super Star Wars! I was so into it. And in my gaming, I basically went backwards to the Super Nintendo era, because I was very young when it first came out.
This was the game I had on my Super Nintendo. Everything else was like trash licensed games. My first true Nintendo game that I ever owned.
But you repeat yourself.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna dunk on
my
the entire time.
My stepdad had a Super Nintendo as a kid, when I was a kid, and he had like 5 games for it. He had this, Super Mario World, Aladdin.
That's because they were like $90
I died.
And
yes, you did.
The fifth, I think, was like Troitman Football or something. But yeah. So I saw this game way too many times. It was this, SimCity, Super Mario World, Troitman Football every fucking week. And neither me nor him could ever get to play Han Solo ever. This game just fucking sucks.
It's garbage. It broke me as a kid. Anyway, going back to other things we talked about last week. Ryan, did you decide to pick up Pokemon?
I'm thinking about it, but I mean, I'm at a part of the year where I'm
super busy,
saving my money, and I'm super busy. That's just how journalism is at the end of the year, and it's on my list. I look at it. I'm thinking about it, but it's a bit of a commitment to pick up a $40 game.
A little bit.
I just
It came out so late. There's no like Black Friday deal.
But one of the things that is going to make my decision change is, like, what are the game exclusive Pokemon for the 2 games?
God, that's a really long list because it has all of the previous games' legendaries in it between them. I can pull it. I can pull it up. I use Cerebi because he's a good guy. Let's see. Version exclusive.
Alright, so immediately I want Ultra Sun because it has the Alola Vulpix, which I think is super cute.
Yeah, Sun has Vulpix.
If I buy it, I'm gonna buy Sun. Legendary Beasts are exclusive, aside from Suicune?
Yeah, so it's Entei Sun has Raikou. And Ho-Oh. Everything past that, I'm pretty sure you don't even recognize.
As like the first 250, and then everything after that appears in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I have a vague awareness that they exist. I sort of know that Latias and Latios are. I kind of know what Krygor is, sort of.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it really comes down to if you're a Lugia or a Ho-Oh fan, I guess. But Alolan Vulpix is better than Alolan Sandshrew, even though I like Alolan Sandshrew because he's like a freaking igloo.
I've heard that you can transfer your Pokemon from your virtual console version of Gold and Silver into this game. Is that true?
Yes, you can. They actually patched it to do that a lot faster than I thought they were going to. Like, you can already do it. Like, you can start the game and patch up, like, and move up your Silver version Pokemon right away.
But that's great, because, I mean, there are certain... One of the reasons why I never really got into the other Pokemon games past Gold and Silver is that I really wasn't big on the fact that, you know, the Pokemon that I liked were no longer in the games and no longer available at all.
Yeah, they gave up on that a long time ago. Like, Sun and Moon, like, really give you a lot to work with. Like, the Ultra ones, like, put a whole bunch of old Pokemon in, too. Like, 2 of my favorites are in the very first section of the game, and I was like, good lord, they're just spoiling me for choice.
Like,
so...
Like, you like, my team in Gold and Silver right now, like, it reveals what my favorite Pokemon are. I have, like, an Ampharos, I have a Slowbro, I have a Poliwrath, and, like, all of those are actually in Sun and Moon natively. What's this thing, the Pokemon Bank, that is a lot of the old Pokemon have?
So
as the only way you can get them.
So the bank is basically a hub, like an online hub now, where you put all of your Pokemon from all of the games, so the virtual console games and all of the 3DS games, and then you can transfer from even the DS ones to it, and it serves as a hub basically, and then you can just pull into whatever game you need to. And I love it because it gives me full access to everything I've ever caught. From literally the Game Boy Advanced to now. Yeah,
it only costs $5.
$5 for a year, and they keep it on their server.
That's agreeable. Interesting when, you know, Nintendo does shit right that, like, no other games company actually does right.
They're doing so much right now. They're doing so much right.
It happens all the time. Like, EA fucks shit up, Ubisoft fucks up, then like 6 months later, Nintendo comes up with the exact same thing except done correctly.
It takes them a while to get there.
And yet people like to complain that Nintendo never does anything the right way.
If
broke up, what did you say?
I broke up. Yeah, like, people tend to complain that Nintendo never really does anything the right way, but it's really just that they're not doing the generic thing.
That's been working for them this time. Like, that's the reason why the Switch is working right now. Hands down.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting thing about that Jim Sterling video. Most interesting thing from that Jim Sterling video from this week where he praised the Switch is that Stardew Valley is apparently the second best-selling game on the Switch.
It was the first until Mario came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all better than Breath of the Wild.
That's wild.
Well, no, like
yes.
It didn't sell better than Breath of the Wild. It was a period of time. It was the number one on the list.
Okay, I was say, didn't like everyone who owned a Switch have Breath of the Wild? Wasn't like the thing for
more people have Breath of the Wild on the Switch, like the Switch copy of Breath of the Wild, than own Nintendo Switches.
Well, that's because there's a shortage forever.
Oh, it's because of the collector's edition.
That being said, I was looking just today, just because I knew that Skyrim came out in the last week, and I wanted to see what it was looking like for sales or whatever, and Rocket League's hit #1 since it launched.
Yeah,
on their,
indie games are doing incredibly well.
As expected, really.
I mean, they're ports, but they're ports with the right kind of justification.
And they don't need much power like this, you know, like they don't need like 4K graphics.
Yeah, Rocket League runs at a consistent 60 frames per second on the Switch in both modes. Right. So does it look the best? No, but it runs at 60 frames per second.
I'm hoping more and more games come to the Switch because I prefer using my Switch over my Xbox, my PlayStation, and my PC because I can use it anywhere.
Yeah, I've been using the Switch a lot more.
Like, I use my Switch all the time now, and that's why I just want more games. It's like keep giving me games.
Like, I already have a PS3 copy and a PC copy of Skyrim, but I would totally, if it went on sale, totally own Skyrim on Switch.
Any Bethesda game, I just like playing on PC because I just feel like there's so many problems in the game that I always run into, and I could fix it with console.
But it's so expansive. It's the same thing that I wish, like, I had. If there was a port of Persona 5 available on Switch, I'd be playing it on that instead, where it's a game that you could sink so much time into, and it can look good in tons of different ways, so you may as well play it portable, because then you don't have to actually commit to sitting on a couch for hours and just sinking time.
But can I mod it? But
you could do that too if you wanted to.
But on PC I can mod it to the point of like almost making my computer melt. I don't know if I could do that on the Switch.
No, but
yeah, that's a hardware that's just preference. But choice is good. Like, absolutely get it on the PC and get mods. Like, honestly, the Switch feels like the perfect console companion to a PC at this point.
Yeah, well, that's
definitely.
Because it does what every other console and PC doesn't. It's good games that I can move around with.
Exactly. I have 2 docks in my house. I bought a third-party dock that works really well. So I've got one up here where I'm in my office, and then I actually have one downstairs too. And it's just like, put it on any TV I want. Literally.
I was on a plane to Mexico like 2 weeks ago, and I was playing the Switch on the plane. It was great.
They put their finger on the pulse, and they finally got it right.
And with Hulu now, it's like I have access to TV. It's like I'm just waiting for Netflix. It's like
it'll get there.
A lot of things in my life.
Yo, what is Hulu on Switch? Did I miss that?
Yeah,
Hulu's on Switch.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it works too. It works pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same experience you'd get on any other console. Like, there's no different versions.
The new Hulu UI or the old?
Yeah,
Hulu UI?
It's the new one, sadly.
Okay.
But
no,
not
the old one's bad.
Well, I don't know if you ever used the Wii U ones. The Wii U ones for both Netflix and Hulu just stopped getting updated like a year ago. So I'm just glad to see that new UI at all.
Oh yeah, see, I have Hulu logged in on my PS4, so.
Yeah, that's what I usually use for my Hulu stuff, is either like Chromecast or whatever. But it's nice to have it. It's nice to have the option. But I mean, on the other hand, Hulu was even on the freaking 3DS, so.
It's just like it's cool to have Hulu on these consoles, but there's just like no interest in me on Hulu anymore because they got rid of the Criterion Collection. It's now on Filmstruck. Like that was the only reason
fair for you.
That was the only reason I'd want to get Hulu at all. So I mean, like,
I think
everyone
he's quit, guys. I think he's quit.
He's done.
No. I'm gonna move over to Super Empire. Also, I was trying to figure out what happened to
You
Miles
quit.
because he just Miles disappeared.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird.
I
missed him.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just. Okay, here we go.
Looks like the stream might be lagging a little bit.
Oh no, it's just kind of following my my emulator actions.
Oh, okay.
Pay no mind that whoever's watching this, if anybody can see what's in my downloads folder, it's probably going to be a bunch of Metroid stuff.
Porn.
Nah.
Speaking of that, just based on past experience with other people, live tiles in Windows 10. if you have those things, you might wanna turn those off.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, live tiles aren't really good.
Dude, you know what's the most garbage operating system?
Windows 8. Windows ME?
Windows 8.
I was gonna say Windows.
We don't talk about Windows ME.
I was gonna say Windows 8, but yeah, that
Windows ME,
too.
my dude.
Yeah,
I love telling my Windows ME story because I had it for like a year, and every day would be, what's gonna crash my computer now? Well, I open Notepad and my computer's gonna crash because of that. Well, Roller Coaster Tycoon crashed my computer. Well, going on the internet crashed my computer. Well,
still a better game than Super Star Wars.
But will Windows ME crash my computer? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. God, Windows ME was a mistake. They made up for it by releasing Windows 2000 to the general public, and that was a much better system.
Can we just take a moment and recognize that we can't even read this text?
It's so bad.
Imagine trying to read.
It's not even the right color. It's not even the right color. Okay, it's like fucking PowerPoint word art.
You think this is bad? Imagine trying to read it on a CRT television in 1995.
I almost feel like that would make it somehow easier.
No. Oh no.
Oh no. Alright.
The one positive thing about Super Empire Strikes Back, the one positive thing about Super Empire Strikes Back, is that you start off with the goddamn lightsaber. That is the end of the positive things about Super Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've never played a Super Star Wars game with a lightsaber. It's gonna be a novel thing. Oh,
there it is.
Look at that mug.
As big as him.
Wow, I see that it's still the same.
Yeah.
It's bad, yes. Oh, you're like, oh, holy shit, I have a lightsaber. Oh, it's bad.
Oh my god, it's the same fucking level, just this time it has snow instead of sand.
Oh no.
It's the same level. Like, it looks the same, doesn't it?
Yup. Oh, there are two differences. One, those snowballs are the fucking worst thing in all three games. And two, you're gonna see the other bad thing about this game coming up very soon. If you don't die before you get there.
Where was I?
You're on Hoth.
No, I was in the ground.
On some sort of...
Where are they coming from?
Top of the mountain.
Remember how many things were in Hoth? Oh yes, here this motherfucker is. Oh god.
Oh my god.
But
look how big this sprite is. Oh boy.
Luke wasn't wearing his orange flight suit on the Tauntaun. My immersion is
That's correct, yeah.
It sticks out like a fucking dead rebel pilot.
This is a fake Star Wars game. There are no loot crates.
Welcome to the worst hitbox on the Super Nintendo.
What the fuck? Oh fuck! Oh god! Wait, I can't actually aim. What is happening here?
This game was a mistake.
Oh wow! Oh! Crystals too, huh?
Yes.
You don't remember this part in the movie?
No, I can't say that I do, and I'm dead already.
This is the dream Luke had when he was inside that Tauntaun.
And it doesn't. It's like basically his equivalent to the Leo dream in The Revenant.
Yeah.
These boars explode into mushroom clouds inexplicably. Yes.
Oh my god, they do.
Why?
Health sword. Was this made in China? I really hope so.
Health sword was in Health sword was in the other one too.
Yeah, it was. It's like they're calling it a health sword.
You guys don't need a health
company
sword.
that made this game was from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm so sorry, Travis.
Oh my god.
Yeah, There's a lot not to be proud of in my state.
I diddle these boars with my lightsaber.
Oh, for Empire, what is the name of the company specifically? Is this the same? Yeah, Sculptured Software, sure enough.
Yeah.
They also made...
There's no doubt that this is the same company.
I'm telling you.
Nobody else would dare make a game like this.
They made the Amiga port of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, that's the one. They made Roger Clemens' MVP Baseball, which is a bad game for the NES. They made Bart's Nightmare for the Super Nintendo.
Oh god,
Bart's Nightmare!
Wow, these guys are just...
I forgot about that game.
Record for being bad.
I forgot all about that game.
They made Captain Novelin. Other bad game. They worked on... Okay, this one's better. They made the SNES port of Mortal Kombat 2.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, that's notorious.
They made the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat 1. Okay. They made the Sega Saturn version of Space Jam.
Oh, I've played that. It's bad.
They made the Super Nintendo version of Doom.
Oh.
I have that on my SNES Classic too. Oh wow. I don't remember the Pit of Spikes. That's new.
Yeah, that's
that must have been in a special. Yeah, that must have been in a special edition also.
What's funny is that these are free special edition.
Yeah.
The last games they made.
They weren't told to adapt the movie. They were just told to come up with a game.
True.
Right. So after like 1999, they were called Acclaim Studios Salt Lake City. They were owned by Acclaim.
Mm-hmm.
And their last games were a bunch of awful WWF games.
Oh,
and their very last game.
Don't you talk about wrestling games?
And their last games were the promising but extremely flawed Legends of Wrestling games.
Huh.
Yeah. The best thing that they ever made was a port of somebody else's work.
mean, the best paper I've ever written was based off someone else's writings.
You all 3 games?
Oh my god.
Yes, they did.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm sure they made all 3 games.
Made all 3 games, yeah. And JVC published them.
Yeah, I saw that. That's like a gigantic lightsaber.
Big as him, just like the action figures at the time. Die again.
I think this is the point where somebody's supposed to make an inappropriate joke, but
look, a character we're never gonna see.
Right?
Oh god, I can only imagine how bad
God,
that level is.
That game over screen just spinning.
It's like it's taunting me. Nah, 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 nah.
Wonderful.
Oh yeah? You're telling me? Yoda
Right,
telling me to get good.
So this game you can also play as Han and Chewbacca. You can also play as Han and Chewbacca in this one, but Super Return of the Jedi, which I gave up after 1 level, you can also play as Princess Leia and Wicket the Ewok.
It would take 3 games to play as Leia.
I was about to say the same thing for Wicket.
Yep. Okay, yeah, it would be infinitely better if you could play as Wicket through the entire time.
Probably a Game Shark code to do that. Get some Game Shark code, for the love of God, please. Cheat.
I have to get good.
No,
I gotta say, I'm a lot better at that first one.
You are. Just keep jumping. The Tauntaun's just extra life, so get as far as you can, and then...
I rented this from Blockbuster once.
Once.
This is as far as I got. And this is why I only rented it from Blockbuster once. Very end of them having Super Nintendo games, like, oh hey, Super Empire Strikes Back. I'm gonna make my parents rent this for $8.
Is that how much it was?
Yeah, dude.
Oof.
Something like that.
Just do the spinny flippy thing. Just continue.
Yeah, well, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm able to do it.
It's awesome.
And you're dead.
You've died again.
Yeah, you did. Bang, you did.
It's okay to feel sad sometimes.
I like the little the little Tauntaun sprite in the top.
What would be the best way to send you Super Return of the Jedi?
A ROM.
No, like, what would be the best way to send you the ROM?
Just tell me and I'll download it.
No, I have it.
That's okay, I can download it in like 2 seconds. Oh,
sure, because
the music's getting slower.
Yep. That's a bad
breaking?
omen.
Is the game breaking?
You're cheating.
No, this game just lags really badly.
That bad, huh? Oh god, that frame rate really picked up. I must be getting close to the end of the level.
See,
oh my god,
Nintendo gave developers all these tools.
How am I supposed to know? How? What? Huh?
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
This cheap ass shit.
Nintendo gave developers this wonderful tool set for the Super Nintendo. They just didn't read the manual on how to do it properly. That's why we wound up with a bunch of really bad Mode 7 games from developers like this one.
Reminder that this has the Nintendo seal of quality on it.
And Wally Bear and the No Gang, and it's like, does not.
Version of Tetris for the NES. Well, there goes your fucking...
There goes my goddamn Tauntaun. Is that like them being like, sorry, we know this is kind of gonna be hard, so here's a little extra health, and it's not gonna help you at all. Fucking A.
Like a bad Metal Slug game.
Yeah.
That's a way of putting it.
I'm having flashbacks to Cuphead. I don't know how anybody was able to do that.
Like Cuphead or this?
Both.
How about you play some Republic Commando?
Cuphead has level design.
Yeah, right. This is just a mess.
Play some Republic Commando. Kill some Trandoshans.
You know what? I just might. I've never played that though.
Republic Commando's great.
It is.
The super battle droids are terrifying. It's like they actually feel like
it's a really fun game.
It's like you have to take them apart. I just hate that it ends on like it ends on like just like a moment. You're like, can't do anything.
Look at these awful infinite spawns. Just.
By the way, I shot my own Tauntaun.
As we saw.
Well, I mean, you know, you got to stay warm.
I never thought this was a good idea.
Money.
All of this is bad.
All right. I'm gonna find some reviews of this.
Complete misery.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Find a review of this that's still alive on the internet.
I'm sure IGN's is still there. Oh wait, no, they were from like N64.
IGN didn't exist in 1990.
Yeah, that's right. They did. They existed from like N64 onward.
Yeah, Nintendo powered Game Throw and EGM. All right.
I'm really contemplating jumping back to that first one because at least I know I have a shot. What was the other game that was close in terms of the polls?
Hold on.
Jedi Academy.
Jedi Academy?
I don't know, I'm just saying it because I like that game.
I think, actually, it might have been Jedi Knight 2.
Jedi Knight 2 is pretty alright.
Yeah, I might throw that on, then.
I have the ROM for Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for the Game Boy Color.
You gotta get
for the Game Boy emulator? I forgot there was a Game Boy version of that.
Yeah, boy.
You can forget there's something. There's a Game Boy version of Daikatana.
I knew that.
Did anybody have the Game Boy version of Stuart Little, the game?
I have every game released for Super Nintendo on my drive.
That tree level when you're jumping around the trees can never beat it. Just saying.
The worst experience I've ever had with a video game was with the Game Boy Color Tom and Jerry game.
Oh my god, I've played that.
It's a Kaizo nightmare.
It is. It really is.
Anybody have any plans for Thanksgiving?
What the... Wait.
I mean, eat food.
Is the game still going? Is my game still going?
No.
I don't see it.
No. I still hear the music. I still hear the music. Why is it still not... Why is it still going?
You're just going insane.
I'm Task Manager.
I did.
Go into the process. You might have to kill the emulator.
Yeah, I think I have to kill the emulator. Yeah, you're right.
What emulator are you using?
What's the one that starts with the ZSNES?
Yeah, so if you go in more details, you can find it in the background. It's probably where it's hanging out.
Yeah, because the music's still going.
SNES, huh?
There it is. There it is.
What?
Go back. Go back up.
Here?
No, I think you went too far now. It's in the background processes. I saw it. In the stream, probably just got a big old look at my forehead.
There it is.
There you go. Kill that sucker.
Oh my god.
Hooray, Windows!
I'm done with it. Done forever. Jedi Knight 2. Let's do it.
Hey, stream. I'm just playing Pokemon.
How is it, by the way?
Just like right there. It's good. Like, Sun and Moon were good. This is as good as them. The changes are welcome. Most of them are like quality of life stuff, more details.
I like the idea that like they kind of changed how gym the gym challenge worked. That was kind of getting a little stale.
It's just not a gym challenge anymore. It isn't. It's gone. Been completely replaced with like. So you go on this. They call it an island challenge now because you got to go throughout the map, and there's 4 different islands. You got to cross all of them basically, and then you complete different tasks. So the tasks are different, usually like themed around whatever type the captain of the trial But you don't really ever fight them. You're usually doing something else in the game, like a task or a mini game or something like that. There's one that involves the photo mode in the game. It's the best one because it's genuinely creepy. Like, I remember the first time I played it and getting actually scared out of my pants because it involves, like, ghost Pokemon and stuff. It's pretty good. But, you know, it's a nice breath of fresh air. But really the thing that, like, sells me on this one, even more so than any of the previous games, is that they've done all of these things to make the world feel like it exists instead of just an RPG world that you're going through. Like, NPCs are doing stuff. There are wild Pokemon just roaming around the map that you can talk to and interact with. That, you know, there's birds flying in the air. The trees will drop fruit naturally. Like, the sun will change even in game menus. Like, the lighting.
Is it like Animal Crossing and Pokemon?
Kind of. Like, there's a lot of, like, living, breathing elements to it that aren't like battle, that aren't like narrative even. But it feels more believable as a result. And it goes a long way.
What's the post-game like? What can you do after you've beaten everything?
In Ultra Sun and Moon, I can't tell you in great detail just because I have not finished it yet. I have an adult job with adult responsibilities, and it's sad. But I do know the post-game in Ultra Sun and Moon is bigger than in Sun and Moon. Like, at this point, just buy the Ultra ones if you're going to buy it. Like, there's no reason to not do that. But they did reveal that in the Ultra versions, the post-game includes more narrative stuff that involves the return of Giovanni from the first games and the other team leaders from other games. So it's basically just a big old fan service thing. But it's an entirely, like, new arc to the storyline and stuff, and then they added a whole bunch of, like, extra quests and battle modes and stuff. There's a mode, like, I don't know if you ever played Pokemon Stadium, but there's a rental. There's a rental mode, so you basically go in and you can work with other players online. They don't have to be online at the same time. It's just, like, cached information, and you can rent different Pokemon, even ones that you don't have in your Pokedex, and battle through challenges that way. That's pretty fun so far too. So there's actually a lot to do besides just catch Pokemon. There's also a lot of Pokemon to catch. Pokemon. So it's good. Like, it's hard to get as excited about it as I was last year because it wasn't as much of a breath of fresh air, just by merit of what it is. But
I tell you what, I
enjoyed it.
I don't know. I think I probably mentioned this last time we met. But there was a lot of fucking Pokemon stuff at that.
Oh yeah, it's back. Pokemon Go shot it right in the arm, and now it's back. I mean, it never really went away for me, but
it's like selling stuffed versions of the entire original 150, and it's kind of funny because, like, you could tell which ones nobody wanted. Like, no one wanted an Execute plushie.
No, I don't even want an Execute plushie.
What's wrong with Execute?
Yeah.
It's 6 eggs.
It's 6 eggs.
Yeah.
I was
like the Alolan Executor with the big old neck.
What's the evolution of the Execute?
Executor.
That's the one that I was thinking of. Yeah, nobody wants just the bundle of eggs. Yeah.
Execute Order 66.
It's back on topic.
So what do I need to know about Jedi Knight 2, Jedi?
Did you play Dark Forces?
Not all of it.
It's the second.
But you know who Kyle? Yeah, it's the second game.
Kyle Katarn.
Right, so
there's 3 Dark Forces games. I found out that there's a 3rd Dark Forces game, and it's a prequel to the game before this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have lightsaber, you kill bad guys.
That's a good way of putting it.
Oh God! What's up with her teeth? Oh no!
It's as dead as the
Right.
rest of Ketchum.
So, my major experience with this game is that...
Oh god, the blinking! Their eyelids are reversed. Oh my god.
So, this was on a Computer Gaming World demo disc in October 2001 with Max Payne and the original release of Bejeweled.
Really?
What a good demo disc that was. Yeah. So I played the demo for this game a bunch and never picked up the full version.
I only rented this once on GameCube, and I had no context of the rest of the series, and when I started playing the game, it was dark.
Demo disc, Bejeweled.
Like, I couldn't tell what the hell was happening.
We believe this transmission was intended for Galak Fire, the suspected leader of the remnant forces in that sector. It's probably nothing more than a couple of soldiers telling tales around the glow lamp.
Yeah? Tell me that later when I land there and investigate.
It's Mon Mothra.
Did you guys
Mon
reference? Mon Mothra's back. Did you guys notice that Laura Dern's basically playing the new Mon Mothma but with purple hair?
She's apparently gonna like piss off Poe Dameron, and I mean, yeah, sure. I need Grumpy Oscar Isaac is just as sexy as the rest of Oscar Isaac, so sure, yeah.
Okay, so this game is a first-person game. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
The
first Star Forces is just basically Star Wars Doom. So.
Does this game have aim assist?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember the stage, but I remember it being like impossible to see. Is this like a stealth game? Can I just shoot them?
It's definitely not a stealth game.
Alright. This is a little bit punchier. How do I cycle through weapons? Oh, I guess with the scroll wheel. Robot arm. Yeah, that'll do.
There's also a character in Pokemon Sun and Moon that, like, the entire battle, when you battle them, the entire battle they're making JoJo poses, and that's plus in my book right away. Like the hand poses.
Alright.
That door is not gonna let me go through anything.
Oh,
okay. Shift is the slow button. Fuck. Ah, well, I guess that's gonna take me that way.
Get him!
Ah! Yo, don't spook me like that, boy.
Just shoot you in the face. Do we have anything else on the docket?
Not really. All that, yeah. I mean, we summarized all the Battlefront stuff. And,
the last big thing to go is that Steam, Humble Bundle, and GOG are all having their big Black Friday.
So if you care about Destiny, Destiny 2 is going to be on sale for anywhere from $30 to $39.
Wolfenstein's 25 or 30 to 25 bucks, depending on where you go right now.
Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
If you want a really great game, Unexplored, which is a really awesome top-down roguelike, is $8. I really recommend picking it up.
Which one?
It's called Unexplored.
Unexplored.
I've mentioned to it a bunch of times. You'd love it if you wound up playing it on here next. Yeah. It's really good.
Hollow Knight, I believe, is in the under $10 section. That's a game.
Night in the Woods is $16 on Steam. Everyone needs to play that game.
Okay.
Undertale is $5 on Steam.
Undertale?
Well, listen for yourselves.
If y'all listen to this and you have not played Undertale, pick it up now.
No. I was asking if that's what you had said. I've played Undertale 2 or 3 times. As it's required.
What else is off?
Nope.
Really want to
try Alt F4.
Alt is off.
The suspected leader of the remnant forces in that sector. It's probably nothing more than a couple
On Nuclear Throne isn't off. That's unfortunate. That's a great.
And then other stuff that was on sale. Nier Automata is on sale. Doom is on sale for $15. If nobody's played that in there, they got PC that'll run it. Fallout franchise is on sale again.
A lot of these do carry over to console versions too. If you check the different digital shops, they're open for business.
I'm sure.
I think I saw someone.
Yeah, I'm probably going to a GameStop to buy a physical copy of Wolfenstein on Friday.
The big giveaway that GOG has is that you can get MDK for free if you have a GOG account. That's a great game.
Yeah, nice. I'm trying to think of what else was... It's so funny, like, the Steam sale, it's like all the essentials, so it's like if you already have most of them, it's kind of like whatever, but... oh, yeah, there's, you can get the Steam controller and a Steam Link together for $35.
Is there a deal just on, like, the Steam controller?
There is, but literally the difference between the sale price on the Steam controller and the bundle is $1.
I've already got a Steam Link, that's why I asked.
Oh, well, then...
I got one when it was, like, $6 or whatever, when it was, like, with a game. I think it was Icy.
Gotcha.
So I was like, I already have one, and like the PS4 controller actually works with it over Bluetooth, which is awesome, A-OK. But you have to like resync it every time you boot the thing back up, and I'm like, oh god, I don't want to leave a keyboard connected to this all the time.
Keyboard connected to the computer port.
Basically.
So, anything else?
I think that pretty much sums it up, unless there's...
It's a holiday weekend, so hopefully nothing else does happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to look up news, and literally everything was like Black Friday sales, and I don't want to support Black Friday sales.
Yeah. To work on Black Friday, Evan?
Oh, you
I'll see if I can find a way to get the door open. Wait here.
I'm sorry.
I feel so sorry.
5 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I went to Black Friday at a Best Buy exactly once, and there were these two kids in the back with the radios who kept turning all the radios up as loud as they could go. Until somebody...
Until people left?
Until somebody from the store had to take them out by their shirts and throw them out of the store.
Oh, as in like not kids that worked there, as in like kids that were like dicking around like in the car section.
Yeah, yeah, putting it as loud as they could and making everybody sick.
When you said radio, I thought you meant like employees with like something doing, I don't know. Ooh,
no.
The supply machine.
Yeah, like Best Buy on Black Friday was probably the worst shopping experience I've ever had, and I'm so sorry that you have to deal with it.
Yeah, a second year. It's gonna be special.
You could always come back to the store, Evan, and work Christmas.
Okay. And just quit and like probably ultimately be healthier and more sane. Wait, what did she say? SNES didn't happen for too long? That's because it was impossible to play.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get used to the first few levels of this a little bit more.
We'll find out next week on Star Wars Month.
Yeah, so unless anybody else has any games that they've been playing recently.
I got a couple of news beats here.
Oh,
one's a weird one and one's a depressing one.
Okay, good.
But if we want to dunk on Disney some more, I've got your back.
No, I mean literally all I got, dude, is that I have put a 46th or 47th hour into Persona 5, and everybody's done hearing me talk about that. So
I've been talking about the game literally the entire time, so that's fine. But do you guys know the game Marvel Heroes? Is like a Ultimate Alliance style kind of Diablo thing.
I played it.
Wait.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Is it a mobile game?
No, it's a PC game, and then it just recently came to about 6 months ago or so. It went to consoles. Well, last week, Disney ended the contract with the developer, which was Gazillion Entertainment.
Really?
Yeah, they just killed it, just like they did like Disney Infinity and all. They're like, we're done. We're not interested. You don't have the license anymore.
But people put money into that.
They did. People on the console put money into it, and they've only had it for 6 months, maybe even less. So they've been trying to get refunds. But that's going to be a lot more difficult because as of tonight, we have word that Gazillion laid off all of staff. So the game's not even ending when it was planned. The game is ending Friday. So I mean,
so
refunds are definitely.
They're not even going to keep the servers online.
Well, I mean, they can't keep the servers on past the original intended endpoint because of the license again. But yeah, they're people aren't getting refunds. The server's not even going to stay on for the remainder of the time. A lot of developers don't have jobs, and according to some of them who are talking, probably because they're super pissed, they're not being paid their severance or PTO, and their medical insurance ends next week.
Oh, Disney, what are you doing?
Well, it's not Disney. This is like Disney killed the license, so they basically killed all. They triggered this, but apparently, Gazillion has not been managed well as a studio,
That sounds like a complete nightmare.
Shit runs downhill.
No contingency plan or overhead.
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
And yeah,
Well,
it looks
it
bad.
sounds like a bunch of fucking dudes who went to school for game design got thrown in a room together and said, "Let's make a Marvel game," and then.
Well, like the developers are one thing. This is like a management thing. So
well, right, that's what I'm saying. They didn't have any sense of management.
They've made other like online games and everything before, but it's just a bad situation all around.
Wow.
Freaking sucks. So
pour one out for them.
Yeah, the good news is that a lot of studios are trying to get people jobs, which happened with Visceral. There was another closure earlier this year too. I want to say Volition. Some people lost their jobs at Volition. Probably wrong on that, but
yeah, man, it's been a shitty year.
But it's been a shitty year all around. But here's so weird kind of, I guess, uplifting story depending on your perspective. But Capcom has teamed up with Takara Tomy in Japan for a new line of Transformers toys based on Street Fighter II.
Oh, that's exciting. Now I want a Street Fighter II style Transformers fighting game.
Kind of. So they're taking original models and merging them with characters. So Ryu is being merged with Optimus Prime.
Rollout.
So it's an Optimus Prime dressed like Ryu, basically, that can do a Hadouken.
Man, between that and the Red Bull campaign, Capcom's just selling out Street Fighter real quick.
Yeah. I mean, it's still not the Cup Noodle mission from Final Fantasy 15. That's unbelievable. Like, that was... I recorded that entire thing because I swear to God I was never going to see anything like it again. Oh, and Jeff Keighley said the Chick Hydrobot's not coming back to the Game Awards. So, I mean...
That's madness. If they're going to be sponsored by Chick Hydro, they need that robot.
I'm gonna have to change my entire drinking game.
It was the best, most like weird, divergent thing in that entire show last year.
Which I mean is par for the course because I mean that entire thing is just one big advertisement and patting on the back and everything. So
I just don't pay attention to the Game Awards. I didn't pay attention when they were on Spike. I didn't pay attention to their.
This one's a little different. They at least try to make it a little bit more of like a positive thing, a less douchey thing, and they put more like of a spotlight of. More positive spotlight on the industry and the people who make the games, but it's still exactly what it sounds like, which is the industry patting itself on the back and giving accolades to things and stuff like that. But
it's a lot less sad than G4's award show, which was just emptier and emptier every year.
I don't even remember what their award show was like. I remember the really bad Spike TV Game Awards, and then
it was very empty.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was really good if you liked Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb until they fired Adam Sessler. But yeah.
That guy. Did I ever tell you guys I met that guy?
No.
He seems like a good dude.
Yeah, he was very humble. I said to him, like, man, you're like the Roger Ebert of video game journalism, and I like kind of freaked out at him in a bar, and he's like, oh wow, way to make me feel old, buddy. And I just kind of like got quiet.
Never meet your heroes, guys. That's the lesson to take it.
No, it was fine. But what I was going to say was, like, since we're here, what should I put on the poll for next week for something really terrible for me to play in the Star Wars saga?
Masters of Terras Kasai.
I mean, let's not do something bad. Let's play Republic Commando.
Yeah, let's play Republic Commando.
Okay, let's just, like, call it and say Republic Commando.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I just wanted to make it like, do we engage people with it? Do we not? Okay, so we're gonna play Republic Commando.
I mean, are they gonna spit in our cereal?
No, but I mean, if we had a choice, Episode 1 Racer or Republic Commando, what do you think the popular choice is gonna be? I mean...
How about both?
One Racer.
Chances are I'll get frustrated with one, and then we'll just move on to the other.
How about the sequel to the pod racing game? There was a sequel where you could destroy other pod racers. It was like
it was a GameCube one, wasn't it? Yep. Racer Revenge or something?
Yeah, you played as like teenager Anakin.
Oh, was that the one where they had like these weird like Mad TV heads?
Star Wars games. What games are on the Game Boy Color that I can make Evan play?
Right. Let's not.
What's the card game in Star Wars?
Pazak?
Yeah.
I think that was just in Knights.
Do you guys?
There's a version somewhere.
The Lenovo VR headset.
Oh, the one that's like $200?
Yeah, so one of my favorite YouTube guys, Mr. Sunday Movies, he's just like this Australian dude that just talks really blandly with his other bland friend about mostly Star Wars, but like other popular comic shit too. And he did this video in his apartment of him using that headset, and it's just a mess, and it's super funny. So.
Oh wow, this looks really gross. Alright, so I'm looking at a game called Star Wars Episode 1 Obi-Wan's Adventures for the Game Boy Color.
It's so bad.
Is that like the Obi-Wan game for the PlayStation? Like the PS1?
Well, it
is isometric.
Huh.
It's an ice... It looks really terrible. Like, isometric
send
viewpoints on... better version than the one on Wikipedia, but it's in isometric, which is a mistake on the Game Boy Color. Game Boy Color. It looks real rough. Yeah, that's a bad one. God, you can't even figure out what's going on. There's also a Yoda version too.
It's so bad. That's Jet Force Gemini, which was also bad.
Oh wait, hold on. What do you mean? Like it's like one of those where it's like an open stadium, like a diagonal perspective?
Yeah.
Wow, this looks bad.
I had a Bionicle game that was staged like that on the Game Boy Advance, and it was really bad.
Who is this even? I'm now looking at the Yoda game on the Game Boy Color. It looks much worse. Oh my god. Real bad. You gotta play this.
Yoda stories? Oh, good lord. We're going down the... Oh, boy.
You do not play as Yoda in the game.
Well, who do you play as?
Dumb guy.
Dumb guy.
Some guy. Just some dude.
Some guy. Oh, dear.
What else can you play? For the Game Boy Advance? The new Droid Army for the game? I want to make you play a Game Boy Advance or a DS game, because so many bad
I'm not going to be able to run a DS game on here. Okay, I guess I could, but...
They made Super Return of the Jedi for the Sega Game Gear.
You know what? Let's just play Republic. Look at this photo. Guys, come on. I mean, look at...
It's so bad.
Oh, wow.
It looks really terrible.
Oh, dear. Hello, Luke. Troubled I am. Interrupt your training, we must.
I have a feeling that's not canon.
He looks a lot like his father here.
Oh, the Game Boy Color was really bad with photos. It was
Is that
real
before
bad.
or after the car accident?
I don't know. It's in between.
There were so many urban legends about that car accident.
Oh dear. All right, cool. So we'll call it, and we'll do Star Wars Republic Commando next week. And
good call.
That's been the What the D-Pad Star Wars month.